So, you are in need of a Qatari SIM card. That may be because you are traveling to Qatar for business purposes, tourism purposes, or you're already living in Qatar like a migrant worker or a Qatari and you just want to switch SIM cards. Well, there are 12 things, yes, 12 things you need to know about buying a SIM card in Qatar. And worry not all these things will take a long time to go to, but they are important to be aware of. So let's just get started with our 12 things you need to know about buying a SIM card in Qatar. Hi! It's Ooredoo from Phone Travelers, where we cover everything related to SIM cards and traveling with your phone. And today we will be focusing on Qatar because there are a few things to be aware of that can actually make the process of getting a Qatari SIM card faster, easier and more affordable for you, regardless of your position. Like I said, this video is relevant for those traveling and those already living or staying in Qatar for a long time. So let's just get started with number one, is the operators in Qatar. In Qatar, we only have two operators with no mobile virtual network operators, also referred to as MVNOs, and those are Ooredoo Qatar and Vodafone Qatar. So there's an active duopoly in Qatar, meaning that there's not that much competition, which usually means that prices are high when there's either a monopoly or duopoly. But I will talk about price a little bit later. Well, what is the best SIM card actually in Qatar? Well, in general, if you want to get a Qatari SIM card, go with Ooredoo Qatar. They have the best coverage, the best speed, and in most categories they are the best. OpenSignal is a company that does research related to telecommunications, and they created this beautiful table where they show Qatar, or no, not Qatar, but Vodafone and Ooredoo next to each other, and then you can see that Ooredoo is, well, the best in most cases. The only time that I would actually recommend people to go with Vodafone is if you actually want to test out their 5G NR technology. 5G NR, or just 5G, is available to Vodafone Qatar prepaid customers, whereas Ooredoo, at the time of recording this video, is only offering 5G for their postpaid or subscriber customers. So if you want to test out 5G, then Vodafone could be an option if you want prepaid. Otherwise, well, you don't really want to go with Vodafone. Sure, they are a little bit cheaper, but you're just better off with Ooredoo anyway. So where can you get a SIM card in Qatar? You can get your SIM card at the official stores of the operator, so at the Vodafone store or an Ooredoo store. And Ooredoo also has a booth, kiosk, store, however you want to refer to it, at Doha International Airport. So if you are staying in Doha for a while, or you're going to Qatar and you're staying there for a while, you can also buy your SIM card at Doha International Airport without a premium. So that's something to be aware of. Vodafone does not have a booth right now. Maybe they will have it in the future, or maybe they are sometimes there. But Ooredoo is active there, and actually two types of stores. They have their own store and a third-party store, but I'm not really sure the name of it, but it may be, well, shown here down below. Number four, if you're a tourist and you're staying in Qatar for a short period, let's say for less than 7 days, then it's actually possible to get a tourist SIM card from Ooredoo, which is called the Ooredoo Visitor SIM. It's sold for 35 QAR, which stands for Qatari Rial, or QR, that's what they actually use for prices. And that SIM card comes with 250 megabytes, 25 minutes and 25 SMS. And the 25 minutes can also be used for international use, and you can call to 121 destinations. At least that's what the Ooredoo website says. When I counted it, it was 118 or 19 at the time of recording, but they may add and remove countries every now and then. But either way, you can call to many countries, and if you want to see a full list of countries where you can call to, just go to my blog post, phonetourist.com/Qatar-guide, because if I just go through the list of all the destinations, it will be, well, not interesting. At the time of recording, Vodafone doesn't offer a tourist SIM card, so if you are interested in a variant from Vodafone, it's not available. Maybe in the future, but not right now. Number five, SIM card registration regulations. Like most places in the Middle East, except, well, one country, you have to register your passport details when buying a SIM card in Qatar. And be aware that sometimes they might also ask for your place of stay in Qatar, but that's not always the case, but be aware of. If you buy an Ooredoo SIM card at the airport, they usually will not ask for a stay of place. If you go to other stores throughout Qatar, they may ask that, so make sure to bring a copy of your place of stay with you. And also be aware that you can only have 2 SIM cards on your name as a foreigner. So that means that if you want to get a SIM card from both Vodafone and Ooredoo, which is something I would of course do, then it's possible. Luckily there are not more operators in Qatar yet. But if there are more, then you could only try out 2 out of 3. And I know that some travelers are not a fan of all these SIM card regulations, registration regulations, because it can take a while and all that type of stuff. So for those people, they can actually consider getting an international SIM card, where you get your SIM card before you actually travel to Qatar, and well, you don't have to register yourself. And for Qatar, there are 3 international SIM cards or SIM card resellers that I would recommend, which are Surfroam, SimCorner and SIM Options. Surfroam is an international SIM card that can be used in 200 plus destinations, and it's actually a SIM card or international SIM card that I bring on every trip where I go, because I'm usually impatient when I land at the destination, so I usually put that SIM card in before landing, because we all know that airport Wi-Fi can be unreliable, slow, stuff like that, and sometimes it can actually take a while before you are able to actually buy a SIM card. That's why I really recommend Surfroam. You can get your Surfroam SIM card by going to phonetourist.com/go/Surfroam, and be aware that if you use this link, I get a small commission to help with, well, the blog and this channel, so thank you for that. But be aware that the rates in Qatar with Surfroam are relatively high. You'll pay 5 euro cents per megabyte, which translates to 51.20 euros per gigabyte, and in a lot of destinations, or many destinations, you only pay 1 euro cents per megabyte, which translates to 10.24 gigabytes, no, 10.24 euros per gigabyte, which is, well, affordable, and in some cases actually cheaper than getting a local SIM card. But for Qatar, be aware of that. But you can also consider getting a travel SIM card for Qatar by SimCorner, where they sell a travel SIM card dedicated for Qatar, which comes with 6 GB of data for 10 or 15 days, depending on how long you want to stay. If you want to find out more information about the SIM options, make sure to go to phonetourist.com/go/SimCorner-Qatar, or the link in the description down below if it's difficult to remember. And you can also consider the IAS SIM2Fly SIM card, which is usually sold for less than 20 USD. It also comes with 6 GB of data for 10 days. And unlike the SimCorner SIM card, this SIM card can be used in other destinations throughout Asia or the Asia Pacific region, which are Australia, China, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and a few other places. So if Doha or Qatar is a stopover destination where you're staying for there for 1 or 2 days and then going to one of the other destinations, really consider this SIM card, because, well, it can be used in multiple destinations. Number 7, there is there is internet censorship in Qatar, and that's not a secret. And the government also bans certain websites that they deem that are, well, that should be banned. So in that case, you actually want to use a VPN, virtual private network, in order to access websites that you normally cannot access when you are in Qatar. 2 VPN providers that I would recommend are NordVPN and Surfshark. Both are excellent VPN services. NordVPN has a lot service right now. I think they almost have like 6,000 servers in more than 60 destinations. Surfshark has a few less service, but they are also active in some destinations where NordVPN is not active. So I use them both, not both at the same time, of course, because that would make my speeds go much slower. But if you are in Qatar, make sure to use VPN, otherwise, well, the government and ISPs can snoop on you. And both VPN subscribers offer amazing deals most of the time. For example, with NordVPN, you can get up to 70% off on your subscription, whereas with Surfshark, I cannot really say a percentage because it goes up and down. Like sometimes it's like 10% and on other days like 90%. But they're both good VPN services, and well, check the links down below to learn more about these services. Alright, number 8, speeds in Qatar. Internet speeds, or mobile internet speeds. Mobile internet speeds are insanely fast in Qatar. In fact, in June 2020, Speedtest, which has a global index with speed tests of like 138 or 140 countries at the time of recording this, they placed Qatar on number 4 of the world, meaning that behind 3 other countries like United Arab Emirates and 2 others, I think South Korea and Singapore, Qatar speeds are insanely fast. They reported that the average download speed was 84 megabits per second, which is, well, crazy. So speed-wise, you don't really have to worry about that when you are in Qatar. Number 9, coverage throughout Qatar is good. If you're staying in populated places, you wouldn't have any issues with, well, coverage. Especially if you go with Ooredoo with Vodafone, it might be tricky a little bit. But let's say if you go to like literal desert or places where nobody's living or nobody's around, then of course you can expect some bad coverage. But yeah, coverage with both operators is good. They cover, I think, like 90, 95, 99% of the population. So yeah, that's a good thing to know. Number 10, data prices in Qatar are average when looking at the regional perspective, so in the Middle East, and from a global perspective, so looking at the prices around the world. So the average price of 1 gigabyte of data in Qatar at the time of writing was 4.12 USD per gigabyte, whereas the Middle Eastern average was 4.77 USD per gigabyte, and the world average is 4.24 USD per gigabyte. So prices are actually quite low, or low, yes, you can say they are low because they are average, and you get fast speeds and good quality of service, so that's something to be aware of. Number 11, prepaid packages in Qatar. Well, there are many prepaid packages that you have to be aware of, but in this video I will just go to packages that come with at least 1 gigabyte of data up to 5 gigabytes of data, and I also include 1000 megabytes because 1 gigabyte is like 1024 megabytes, so I will include that as well. And this is just to give you an idea of what type of packages are available. So now there's a table on the screen which may be actually too small to even read. Worry not, I will actually zoom in. But one thing you will see over and over again is something related to Flexi. And in Qatar, I don't know why, but the operators give you the possibility to customize the plan you want. So for example, instead of getting a combo plan that comes with data, minutes and SMS, or only data only plans, you can actually use your Flexi points the way you want. So if you only want to get data, you can get with the Flexi points with both Ooredoo and Vodafone. So it's not just exclusive to one operator, or if you only want minutes or only want SMS, like that. So let's look at Ooredoo. You will see that with Ooredoo you actually get a data allowance in addition to the Flexi points, and you can also, if you want, to use those Flexi points to get even more data. So you are free to use your Flexi points the way you want. On the screen you will also see the way how much you will be charged per action, and an action is like 1 megabyte/gigabyte a minute or SMS. So then you have an idea of how much some things cost. Let's say if you only need data, then you have data plans which range from 20 riyal all the way up to 80 riyal for 1 gigabyte of data, up to 4 gigabytes of data. And you can also get bonus data, so the most data you can get with the data only plans is 6 gigabyte of data for 7 days. So let's look at Vodafone. You will see that this recharge internet. Well, with Vodafone you can get special recharges which also come with the Flexi system, and you can choose to get Flexi points or Flexi internet. For now, because I focus on data, you will see the data allowance you can get with the Flexi. I keep saying Flexi, and with Vodafone it's just called Flex. So you get the data allowance and Flex points. These are just recharges, so you can get a dedicated recharge card or voucher to get these plans. But you can also get a Flex plan, which are dedicated plans, and then you can also get data, minutes or SMS with these Flex points. And here's also a list of how much things cost with your Flex points, so that you are aware of that. And number 12, you can also use a mobile hotspot when you are in Qatar. And a mobile hotspot is also referred to as pocket Wi-Fi, and I really recommend pocket Wi-Fi, so mobile hotspots, if you are traveling in a big group, because then things will be cheaper. And there are two companies that I would recommend, which are Travel Wi-Fi and Skyroam. And in Qatar you will charge about like 8 euros for 1 gigabyte of data, with Travel Wi-Fi all the way up 12 euro per 3 gigabytes per day, which are quite low prices if compared to other mobile hotspot renters. And if you're in the US, you may want to consider Skyroam, where they give you unlimited data for as little as 9 USD per day. And remember, the links to these operators, to these mobile hotspots, are in the description down below or the pinned comment. So those are the 12 things you need to know about getting a SIM card or being connected in Qatar. Like I said, there are quite some things to be aware of, but getting a SIM card will be the cheapest way to stay connected. But for some people, they want to get the international SIM card, mobile hotspot, and roam. But hey, those are your options. So I hope you found this video informative. If you're planning on visiting all the Middle Eastern countries, make sure to check this playlist to learn how to get a local SIM card there, or the things you need to know about buying a SIM card in those countries. Make sure to subscribe to this channel where I talk about this type of stuff all the time. I also do SIM card reviews, talk about international SIM cards, mobile hotspots, one which provider, because it doesn't always have to be super expensive. And yeah, just everything related to traveling with your phone, including phone travel tips. That's it for today, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.